The Crawley family grieves the tragic death of Matthew.
You must choose either death or life.
But with new suitors and new business prospects, their lives are tested. And as the world around them changes, they try to maintain their legacy in Season 4 of Downton Abbey.
Hi, I'm Liz.
I'm Kevin.
And I'm Sean. Next up, we're going to talk about the fourth season of Downton Abbey, which is airing on PBS. We've all just seen it. Liz, tell me what you thought.
Well, we've only seen the first 4 episodes, but I think it's enough to give us a real taste of the show. In my opinion, the show's been steadily declining since the first season, but I can't get away because I love the characters so much. And Downton Abbey fans, I don't think they'll be disappointed by Season 4.
Julian Fellowes is the showrunner. He's the writer or co-writer on every single episode of this show. It's a lot of work, and he puts it forth, and he does an excellent job. He's also a member of Parliament, which is
crazy.
That's wild.
He's got a lot to keep on his plate, but he's a fantastic writer. Of course, he won an Oscar for writing Gosford Park that Robert Altman directed.
The season starts off 6 months after the last season ended with Matthew's untimely demise. And I liked how they continued the emotional through line of what has been going on. With before, it seems like they've jumped like a year at a time, and it's just been too much of a shock. But here, it just seems like a continuation of last season.
What does his lordship think?
Lord Grantham thinks his duty is to protect Mary and her son by managing everything himself.
And he won't listen to you on the subject.
He sees her as a little woman who shouldn't be troubled by anything so harsh as reality.
Well, but I do feel that if you don't have Season 3 fresh in your head, you might have a little trouble easing into Season 4. I had to sort of go, wait a minute, who is this person and what just happened?
I find it really compelling. It's been soapy since the first season.
Yes.
I don't know why people keep on saying this, but I think this one is just as compelling, just as soapy.
It's not so much the soapy factor for me as I just think that eventually they sort of run out of little subplots that they can do, and Julian Fellowes is having a hard time, just like any TV show falls into these problems where what can we do with these characters that we already have? I think the characters are still extremely rich, as they've always been, but the storytelling is less so as the show has gone on.
Well, the characters that are still there are rich. Julian Fellowes took all the criticisms of the show and addressed them. So it's like, Anna and Mr. Bates, I love them more than anything in the world, but they are a little bit boring as a couple.
But not this season.
Not this season. It's crazy.
No,
crazy.
it's so good.
Inject some drama in there, yes.
Then there's a lot of, the show suffered a lot of criticism for saying it's a very white show.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, well, let's bring in a black character of Jack, the band leader. So it's interesting the way he's addressing all these criticisms.
The trouble is, I have no need for a butler. These days, I'm just an old widow who eats off a tray.
I see.
Just because you're an old widow, I see no necessity to eat off a tray.
You and I are different.
My favorite on the show has always been Maggie Smith, because Maggie Smith is fantastic. She's the real star, and she nails every scene that she's in. She's delightful, she's funny, she's witty. She's fantastic.
Well, but Michelle Dockery, who plays Mary,
she's the breakout.
it's like she's finally coming out, and with the untimely departure of a certain romantic partner. Okay, since Matthew has died, Mary is...
in a car crash. Let's just get it out there.
Mary's become the spine of the show, and she's really coming out of her shell, and I really enjoy that arc because with the departure of so many beloved characters, you need something to latch onto.
Right, and she, it's funny because she does that kind of arc with getting over, the loss of her husband. Yeah. But then she literally kind of gets her nose into almost everybody's storylines at some point, which is nice because she's like the audience surrogate. Like she's our backbone. I like her.
I wonder how Edith's getting on. She has quite a London life these days.
She's seeing that publisher.
Is it serious?
Well, he's not bad looking, and he's still alive, which puts him 2 points ahead of most men of our generation.
What I liked about the cinematography this year is that it seemed to be a little bit more technical and a little bit more elaborate. You have the camera kind of moving in and out of characters just in like a drawing room. But I thought that was really effective, and I was really impressed with it.
Yeah, I mean, the show has always looked fantastic. Highclere Castle, which serves as Downton Abbey, is just like, can you get a better location than that for anything? And never once do you get the sense that you're watching 21st century cast and crew make something that takes place in the 20s. It feels so authentic, even so that it almost feels like Julian Fellowes is writing the scripts for these shows approaching them with the sensibility of someone who lived in the 1920s. He knows the events that are coming in history afterwards, but he has this certain sensibility towards the characters and the situations. He never looks down on them. There's no pretentiousness in any of his writing. He just writes it in this clear-cut way, and it's very classical.
The storylines are becoming a little too coincidental for me, but I love the characters so much I can't turn away. See it.
Downton Abbey continues to fascinate, and with a compelling new storyline for Anna, I was hooked from the get-go. See it.
Downton Abbey is not immune to problems any television show can have, but season 4 is compelling drama, so it's a see it.
Cheers!
Is Lady Mary an uptown girl in a Downton world?
Ooh.
I like how Kevin mumbled it.
It's Kevin's fault.